Oh, I just muted myself too. No.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, hello. Welcome everyone. This is our Unlimited Network Mastermind that we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And today is October 3rd. We already are in October here. And we get together every Saturday to really support each other as conscious entrepreneurs. That what that means is to realize that our success depends on our level of consciousness, and that all our actions that we take, that we need to take, and we enjoy taking when you feel really good and passionate, really comes from the inner force outside. You know, instead of having to force the situation, we are learning how to manifest, how to attract, how to allow it in our lives so we can enjoy our work, our dreams, our visions. And that is really the intention for entrepreneurs like us. You know, everyone here I know wants more in life. That's one thing that defines an entrepreneur, is a person that, you know, looks for expanding its life and to really have the lifestyle of our own dreams. So we have the right to dream here. And I just want all of us to feel supported and to master creation, really. And we are studying the book of The Money and the Law of Attraction from Abraham Hicks. And this is a very, I would say, high frequency teachings, in the sense of goes directly to energy, you know, how energy works, and to realize that we are energetic beings and that we manifest depending on our vibration. So we are really mastering here, becoming very aware not only of our thinking, that you know, many other teachers are teaching that, but becoming aware of our vibration. That I think that of course depends on our thinking, but I think the vibration at the end is what attracts whatever it is that we vibrate here. And just, I want to share that yesterday I was talking with my mom, and she was saying something about, yes, because there is problems and blah blah blah. You can imagine. and I was listening with all my love, and at one point I was telling her, you know, Mom, and I did this gesture, you know, if you look from this frequency here, well, that's what we are going to see, Mom, but we are learning how to higher up, you know, this frequency, so we can see a different world. And you know, all our thinking has to be different, and to really allow positive and excitement and eagerness and permission and innocence and worthiness. And my mother was like, yeah, you and your world, you know. And I said, yes, exactly, me and my world. So I just want to say that, because sometimes, you know, we can have, and I adore my mom. I mean, it's so beautiful. But we can have this kind of people close to us that maybe they are not empowering us in the sense of wanting to think the same or feeling excited about the same kind of learnings, you know. And but you can be yourself. It's just what I wanted to share with you. You know, you can really express it from a place of your own truth, that this is what I am growing right now, and this is what I understand at this point. So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here, because I know that we could be you know, doing anything else. We are so busy, and there is so many, you know, things that we can do. But to decide to be here, and many of us, we are here every Saturday, you know, so to decide to be here really shows a commitment for your, I will call it, a prosperity consciousness. And that's what we do, to master our minds, to master the creators that we are, and to really support each other in that. So thank you for being here, the ones that we are in the panel. And thank you for being there, the ones that you're in the other side, or the ones that you see this recording. And again, I want you to say a practical thing, in the sense that if you want to be on the panel, I need you to email Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com, so he can send you a special link for you to be here, and we can play together and comment and all that stuff. And today we are going to start with the part 2 of The Money and the Law of Attraction from Abraham Hicks. And this part 2 is titled Attracting Money and Manifesting Abundance. So we were studying the principles in the first part, about pivoting and how, how the law, how the contrast works, like you can change when you cut yourself and the positive aspects of life. I mean, we have many, many tools from that first part, and I'm super excited about opening this second part. So welcome, Doc Fran. Here you are. Ready? Are you ready? Oh, muted. Hold on a second.
All right, there we go. Now I'm
now,
ready. Good
yes.
morning. How are you?
Good morning. Hi, thank you. Good, good. Very excited here, opening a new part of the book. Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, it is exciting, and it's wonderful to see our panel here this morning. So good morning, everyone. And I'm delighted. Sorry I was a couple seconds late here, but it looks like Dr. Monica filled in quite perfectly, so we're in good shape. All right, well, let's move right into the heart of the matter here and learn how we can attract some money and manifest abundance. Who on the panel would like to do that right now? Faster than it's been happening.
Me.
I thought I might find a receptive group. Oh, good. I'm glad to see my intuition is right on. While money is not absolutely essential to your experience, to most people, money and freedom are synonymous, and that is a true statement. Since an intense awareness of your right to be free is at the very core of that which you are, it follows, therefore, that your relationship with money is one of the most important subjects of your life experience. And so it is no wonder you have such strong feelings about the subject of money. Although some people have discovered the freedom of allowing large amounts of money to flow through their experiences, it is more often the case that because you are experiencing far less money than you need or desire, most of you are not feeling free. It is our intention here to clearly explain why this financial disparity exists so that you can begin to allow the abundance that you want and deserve into your experience. For as you read these words and as you begin to resonate with these law-based truths, you will align your desire with the abundance of your world, and the evidence of your newfound alignment will soon become apparent to you and to others who observe you. Whether you are one who has been working to achieve financial abundance for many years, or you are a youngster just starting down that path, the journey to financial well-being does not have to be a long one from where you are, and it does not require large amounts of time or physical effort. For we are going to explain to you in simple and easy to understand terms how to utilize the leverage of energy that is available to you. We want to show you the absolute correlation between the thoughts you have been thinking about money, the way you feel when you think those thoughts, and the money that flows into your experience. When you are able to consciously make that correlation and you decide to deliberately direct your thoughts accordingly, you will access the power of the universe, and you will then see how time and physical effort are rather irrelevant to your financial success. Interesting. So, we begin with the simple premise of your universe and of your world. You get what you think about. Often people say to us, that can't be true because I've wanted and thought about more money for as long as I can remember, but I continue to struggle with not enough money. And what we then tell them is the most important thing for you to understand if you want to improve your financial situation. The subject of money is really two subjects. Number one is money, plenty of money, the feeling of freedom and ease that plenty of money can provide. And two, the absence of money, not nearly enough money, the feeling of fear and disappointment that the thought of absence of money induces. Often people assume that because they are speaking the words, I want more money, they are speaking positively about money. But when you are speaking of money or anything and you are feeling fear or discomfort as you speak, you are not speaking of the subject of money, but instead you are speaking of the subject of not enough money. And the difference is very important because the first statement brings money and the second holds it away. It is of value for you to become aware of how you are really thinking and, more important, feeling about money. If you are thinking or saying things like, oh, that is a very beautiful thing, but I cannot afford it, you are not in a vibrational position to allow in the abundance you desire. The feeling of disappointment that is present as you acknowledge that you cannot afford it is your indicator that the balance of your thought is pointed more toward the lack of your desire than toward the desire itself. The negative emotion that you feel as you acknowledge you cannot afford something that you want is one way of understanding the balance of your thoughts. And the amount of abundance that you're actually experiencing is another way of knowing. Many people continue to perpetuate the experience of not enough in their lives simply because they do not think beyond the reality of what they are actually experiencing. In other words, if they are experiencing the shortage of money and are aware of it and speak of it often, they hold themselves in that chronic position. And so many people protest when we explain to them the power of telling the story of their finances as they want it to be, rather than as it is, because they believe that they should be factual about what is happening. But we want you to understand that if you continue to look at what is and speak of what is, you will not find the improvement that you desire. You may see a parade of changing faces and places, but your life experience will essentially show no improvement. If you want to affect substantial change in your life experience, you have to offer substantially different vibrations, which means you must think thoughts that feel different as you think them. Lackful action doesn't pay off. Jerry. Many years ago, I owned a motel near El Paso, Texas, and H.L. Hunt, who at that time was one of the wealthiest men in the United States, one of the multi-billionaires, called me. He had purchased Hoyo Caliente, a small resort on the Rio Grande that was financially failing, and he had heard that I might have some useful information to help him turn it around. As we were visiting in my little coffee shop, I had a difficult time focusing on our conversation because I just couldn't understand why a man that wealthy would still be discontent and looking for a way of making more money. I wondered why he didn't just sell the place at whatever price and go on about his life enjoying the money he already had accumulated. I have another friend who's in the multi-billionaire class. We were in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, walking on the beach, and he was talking about some business problems he was having. And it really struck me that that man, so wealthy, would have any kind of troubles. But what I've learned from you, Abraham, and I've learned a lot from you, is that our true success in life is not about how much money we have or about having things, right? First, I'll find my vibrational balance. Abraham. The things that you have and the things that you do are all meant to enhance your state of being. In other words, it's all about how you feel, and how you feel is all about coming into alignment with who you really are. When you tend to your alignment first, then the things that you gather and the actions you perform only enhance your good feeling state of being. And if you do not find that vibrational balance first and attempt to make yourself feel better by bringing more things into your experience or participating in more activities in order to try and make yourself feel better, you just get further out of balance. We're not guiding you away from accumulating things or from taking action, because all of that is an essential part of your physical experience. In other words, you intended the wonderful experience of exploring the details of your physical world in order to help you personally determine your own joyous growth and expansion. But when you try to move forward from an imbalanced footing, it is always uncomfortable. If you will begin by identifying how you want to feel or be, and let your inspiration to accumulate or to do come from that centered place, then not only will you maintain your balance, but you will now enjoy the things you gather and the things that you do. Most people do most of their wanting from a place of lack. They want things, in many cases, simply because they do not have them. So the having of them does not really satisfy anything deep within them, because there is always something else that they do not have. And so it becomes a never-ending struggle to try and bring one more thing will still not be satisfying into their experience. Because I don't have this, I want it. And they really think that getting it will fill the void. But that defies law. Any action that is taken from a place of lack is always counterproductive, and it always leads to more of a feeling of lack. The void that these people are feeling cannot be filled with things or satisfied with action, because the feeling of void is about the vibrational discord between their desires and their chronic habits of thought. Offering better feeling thoughts, telling a different story, looking for positive aspects, pivoting to the subject of what you really do want, looking for positive what ifs, that is how you fill that void. And when you do, a most interesting thing will occur in your experience. The things you have wanted will begin to flood into your experience. But these things you have been wanting will flood in not to fill your void, because that void no longer exists. They flow in because your void no longer exists. Certainly, you will gather many magnificent things into your experience. Our message is not for you to stop wanting, having, or doing. Our message is for you to want and accumulate and do from your place of feeling good. Neither money nor poverty makes joy. Abraham, there's a saying that money doesn't make for happiness. On the other hand, I've noticed that poverty doesn't make for happiness either. But still, it's obvious that money isn't the path to happiness. So if the idea of achieving something does bring us happiness, does that mean that achievement is an appropriate goal for us to set? And how does a person maintain his or her feeling of happiness when reaching one's goals is taking a lot of time and energy? It often seems that there is a sort of uphill climb to reach the goal, and then a short plateau of rest, and then an almost immediate tedious climb to achieve the next goal. How does a person keep all of that climbing towards their goals joyous, so there's not that struggle, and then, wow, I've made it, and then struggle, oh, here, I've made it again? Abraham, you are right. Money is not the path to happiness. And as you have observed, poverty certainly is not the path to happiness either. It is so important to remember that when you offer any action for the purpose of achieving happiness, you are truly going about it in a backward way. Instead, use your ability to focus your thoughts and words towards things that cause you to feel better and better. And once you have deliberately achieved a state of happiness, not only will wonderful actions be inspired, but wonderful results must follow. Most people give the majority of their attention to whatever is happening in their experience right now, which means if the results please them, they feel good. But if the results do not please them, they feel bad. But that is really going about life the hard way. If you only have the ability to see what is, then things cannot improve. You must find a way to look optimistically forward in order to achieve any improvement in your experience. When you learn how to deliberately focus your thoughts towards good-feeling things, it is not difficult to find happiness and maintain it even before your goal has been accomplished. The feeling of struggle you are describing happens because of the continued comparison of where you are right now in relationship to the goal you are reaching for. When you constantly take score, noticing the distance that still needs to be traveled, you amplify the distance, the task, and the effort. And that is why it feels like such an uphill struggle. When you care about how you feel, and so choose thoughts on the basis of how you feel, you then develop patterns of thought that are more forward-looking. And as the law of attraction then responds to those better-feeling thoughts, you get more pleasing results. Struggle never leads to a happy ending. It defies law. When I get there, then I'll be happy is not a productive mindset, because unless you are happy, you cannot get there. When you decide to be happy first, then you will get there. I am here as a joyful creator. Abraham, you are not here as accumulators or regurgitators. You are here as creators. When you are looking toward an ending place, you exaggerate the feeling of lack between where you are now and that ending place. And that habit of thought can not only slow the progress of your creation, but can hold it apart from you indefinitely. You are the attractor of your experience. As you look for positive aspects and make an effort to find good feeling thoughts, you will hold yourself in a place of positive attraction, and what you want will come faster. The sculptor of a work of art does not derive his greatest satisfaction from the finished piece. It is the process of creation, the sculpting of the piece, that gives him pleasure. That is why we would like you to view your physical experience of creating continual, joyful becoming. As you focus your attention upon things that feel good and achieve a consistently joyful state of being, you will then be in a position of attracting more of whatever you want. Sometimes people complain that it seems unfair that they have to become happy before things that bring more happiness can then come to them. They believe that when they are unhappy, they need the happy events to come. But when they are already happy, then the happy events are unnecessary. But that would defy the law of attraction. You have to find a way of feeling the essence of what you desire before the details of that desire can come to you. In other words, you have to begin to feel more prosperous before more prosperity can come. Often people tell us that they want more money, and when we ask them what their balance of thoughts is about money, they proclaim that they have a very positive attitude about money. But if we probe a bit deeper, asking them how they feel when they sit to pay their bills, they often realize that while they may have been attempting to sound positive about the subject, they have actually been feeling a great deal of worry or even fear around the subject of money. In other words, often without realizing, the majority of their thoughts about money have been on the not enough side of the subject rather than on the abundant side of the subject. The power of vibrationally spending vibrational money. Abraham, here is a process that can quickly help you shift the balance of your thoughts regarding money to a place where you can begin to let more money flow easily into your experience. Put $100 in your pocket and keep it with you at all times. As you move through your day, deliberately notice how many things you could exchange this money for. I could purchase that. I could do that. Someone replied to us that $100 does not really buy that much in today's economy. But we explained that if you mentally spend that $100 1,000 times today, you have vibrationally spent $100,000. That sort of positive focus will dramatically change your vibrational balance about money. This vibrational spending process will cause you to feel differently about money. And when that happens, your point of attraction will shift. And more money must flow into your experience. It is law. Someone said to us, Abraham, I didn't have the $100, but I put an IOU in my pocket. And we said, that is defeating the process because you are walking around with a feeling of debt in your pocket, which is exactly the opposite of what you want to do. You want to feel your prosperity. And so, if it is only $20 or $50, or if it is $1,000 or $10,000 that you have in your pocket, utilize it effectively to help you notice how good things are now. Because in your acknowledgement of your prosperous now, your prosperity must become more. I think that's a great place to stop for today. So, quite a powerful concept that we're listening to today. So let's see how our panel has assimilated that.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Doc Fran. I mean, it's so, I don't know, I feel so excited about that. It's almost like I know it, and I have to apply it, you know. I love this aspect when to differentiate inside ourselves, you know, like if I am engaging with my desires from the lack of them, I mean, that is like huge, you know. It's like, of course I want more money because I don't have it. If I had it, maybe I will not want more money. Normally you want what you don't have, I think. And so this is a big change in my mentality, for sure. In mastering my mind is something that I'm really looking for to master it, you know. In that sense, it's like, you know, to really start to create my money story and live myself as a prosperous, and to come from this inner place of fulfillment. I always say, you know, that if I expect money to make me happy, and because I am unhappy today, and that's going to be the source of my happiness, it's not going to happen, you know. So to find that place inside, you know, when you are not only peaceful but fulfilled and joyful and happy and grateful, and then from there, you know, to see, you know what, I can create whatever I want in my life. How does it feel to have, you know, this, I don't know, $10,000 per month or $50,000 per month of financial freedom, you know, what that means to each of us. And it is a journey. I love that we can, you know, scratch from the ground, you know, because I think that many of us, we can consciously say yes, you know. I'm the one that here, like every time that I think consciously about money, yes, it's wonderful, but when I go and pay a bill, it's like, oops, you know. So that oops, or that unconscious side that is afraid of not having or whatever, is the one that really needs to be enlightened, I think, you know, and bring light to it, release it, and to keep, you know, understanding how this works. So I just love that. Wow, the persistence of our teachings. And remember, we started this group like 2 years ago already, almost, and we started with the science of getting rich. And I remember, you know, we say, you know, think on that way, you know, like concrete way, and was a mystery in the beginning. And exactly like that, to don't get trapped into what is here, you know, like the perception is not, is what was created, is not what you are going to create, you know. So if you really start to see the evidence in what you perceive here, you are stuck in what you perceive. So this is a mastery. Oh my gosh. Well, I would like to see if anybody would like to share something to integrate this more, and to really master, you know, to have that ability, if you want, to embody today, to really feel, you know, that I am financially free right here and now, how that feels, what I'm doing, how is my life looking, what I will do today, what I'm doing today that I am financially free, you know, and enjoy that dream, enjoy that frequency. So it is an art, because it's really letting go our physical senses, you know, like this is what I see here, you know. So I don't know, it's so powerful. I mean, there is so many things here that we can comment, you know, but to really see that money is not going to be the source of happiness, for sure, but we need to be happy before that. So Arne, I can see you with the microphone open. Yes or no? Yes.
Yeah. You know, we have we have our thoughts, and we have the wisdom that we do need to change some of them into the feeling good thoughts. And personally, I find the challenge, you know, the old thought is the habit of the old thought. Yeah, I want to think this other thought, but the habit is still on the old thought, and it's almost like it's more than a habit. It's like it's almost like an addiction. It's almost like I'm defending the old habit. But I remember we had our boat, the 35-foot boat, but I really had the desire of having a 45-foot. And we were sailing the Bahamas for, I don't know, 3 weeks. And every day I had the pleasure of being in my mind on the 45-foot boat. And everything I did, or everything I envisioned, was the pleasure of being in that new boat. And there was no way that we could actually get this new boat. And when we landed, uh, immediately when we landed to come back, I got a phone call, and the process started, and we got this new boat. We actually did it, and I think the way I was feeling into this new place actually manifested that, and it came out of the blue. So I think our process is, if we could sit down, 1 hour a day, or 1 week, one day a week, to only be in the pleasure of experiencing what it is that we want to experience and feel it, not be in the lack part, not be in the I'm gonna get it part, but actually doing it. Like when I was in that boat, I was steering the boat, but I was not steering the boat that I was steering. I was literally in my mind in another boat and enjoying it. So it's not like I was going anywhere. I was already there. And actually, uh, um, I haven't had that completely for many years, but I noticed myself the other day that that boat, just that new boat that we want, because we don't have it now, it came into my mind, and I felt ease. I felt a kind of satisfaction, a peace, nothing that I wanted to try to get. It was just feeling comfortable, and I see that as a good sign that that I'm on the right way in having that new habitual thought of enjoying that boat without struggling trying to get it. Well, I think that's what I want to say for now. Maybe have something more later.
Thank you, Arne. And it's so interesting what you say, because at that time you didn't have my support, energetically talking. And it's so interesting because, I mean, we are both working on this for many, many years. But I remember, how irritated I got at that time when, I don't know, let's say that we were in, and I remember the trip very well, beautiful water, transparent, like the beautiful boats. I was the queen of, of the moment or whatever. And then suddenly you were saying, oh my gosh, can't you see now we have this, like 2 bedrooms, whatever, big, the bigger boat, and he was enjoying that. And I was almost saying, like, stop it, we have, this is so beautiful. Let's enjoy what we have. And oh my gosh. So looking back now, and that was like 7 years ago, no? Or I don't know. What I'm saying is, like, I was already in this journey of consciousness, but to really get it to the detail of enjoying that we are multidimensional beings, like today I could get it about, yes, let's enjoy our energetic level, not only the physical that is already here, that's already manifested and of course is appreciated and gratitude or whatever, but to have more expansive imagination, let's say, where I can play like that. I remember being a little girl and playing, to have my own house and my family and that, and I was in heaven. And of course was everything, I don't know, maybe I was 7 years old or whatever. I don't remember now exactly the time, but to allow that childness, inside to play today, so I appreciate what you say right now, Arne, and I'm thinking, all what we were working and to be so aware, because even me, that I am your partner and I'm in love and I love you so much and blah, blah, I was pulling you down, or not pulling you down maybe in the sense, but I was not pulling you up for sure, And right now I think we are more in that, I'm more conscious of that, and thanks to all these masterminds that we are doing and to really dive into, the day that I decided to be financially free, an entire world opened up, about, and it's bringing me consciousness. So I'm very grateful, about money and my own journey with that, because at the end, consciousness is what matters here. So thank you so much for sharing that, Arne. Beautiful.
Can I say something more? I think it's a good topic also, that when you want something, when you desire something, when you do it in the right way, and you have the right vision and the right happiness at heart and the right depth of what you want, it's really something that this boat thing that I have, I don't know where it comes from. you know, it's like it doesn't make really much sense, and I'm really not attached to it. I know I'm gonna die without a boat, you know, so it's I don't have that attachment, but it's there in my mind. So it's some kind of I just take it's like it's the way it's supposed to be. It's something that's there in my life, and I just play with it. So I think it's the same with the business. When we do business, that dependency of other people, they're pulling us down, especially the partners, and they don't support us, or and to when you have that place like that I had in the boat, or I even have today in business, it doesn't matter what people say around me. I will twist it around in my mind to fit my belief, which is I'm going in this direction, and that's what I'm going because I see where I'm going, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing every day. Oh, you're at the computer every day. Yeah, I love it. You know, and I take my breaks. I do what I do. I love every moment of my day. So my work is not really work. And when people come in and say, hey, you should this or you should that, or I don't support, to have that strength, to have that core visualization, that core engagement is, I think it's when we can find that, we become unstoppable. It might take a time to get to somewhere, but we are enjoying the journey. And I'm not fighting with the people around me. I'm just seeing a different thing that other people see. We know that many people, we have one topic, we have one incident, and many people, every person who look at that incident will see it differently. So we just have to stick to our the way we look at things and enjoy it, because we're not going to convince other people, because we can't get into their minds, and just do that, and that goes to business as well, and our total success.
Wow. Thank you, Arne. You know, I love you. But besides that, but I mean, I feel like so attracted, you know, to you. And this is something I just want to say it right now loud. When you are clear and you do what you want, even though if I get in between, you know, and like, oh, no, whatever, and you stick there, you know, that gives me such a trust, you know, at the end. So I follow you. I just want to say that. I love it. I feel very inspired by that and very empowered. And I just love that you are so, you know, clear and committed. And that, you know, turns me on. It's attractive, you know. So thank you for being that. Who else would like to share something, you know, from your experience? Because again, it's so easy to say it, to read it, you know, but how do we apply this at home? How much, like you were explaining to us, Arne, I think it's super valuable, you know, individually, we are our own source and we are okay with what we want. And if my mother or your wife, Arne, or whatever is saying, yes, blah, 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 you go, you know, and you go straight, yes, it's okay, you say blah, 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 but I know where I'm going, and I know that I am mastering creation here, you know. So let's practice. Candace, I can see that you opened the microphone. Go for it. Thank you. Welcome.
That was a pretty hard act to follow, my dear. But
pretty hard what? I didn't hear.
I said that was a hard act to follow. But we'll see what I have to say here. I always surprise myself. There's so many important things that happened in this chapter, or not chapter, this portion of what we're reading. I love identifying how I want to feel. And, you know, I've worked with that for a few weeks now. You know, we've been talking about it in the book. How do I want to feel? And I just saw new levels of willingness to feel even that much better, even that much more delighted, that much more in love with myself and caring about myself, taking care of my heart, really allowing good feelings to happen. One of my key ways to do it is to be in nature, to look at a tree, to touch a tree, and to just fall in love with that tree and stand and talk to it for a minute, or or the flowers, or the grass, or the air, or the clouds. Just we have beautiful mountains here, and there are three palm trees at the end of this block of where I live that are probably some of the nicest in the entire city of Las Vegas. They're huge, they're old, they're gorgeous. They haven't trimmed them too much, so there's lots of habitat for animals. Love that. Wouldn't want to stand underneath it, you understand, when bugs drop in my hair, but still. Okay. Last month I did the $100 thing. Sometimes I do these things before and then I read about them very frequently, and that happens. So I was walking around with $100, but what I didn't remember was how frequently to spend it 1,000 times a day. Now that's getting up there. Yeah, I spent it a few times a day. I did, but boy, I want to get behind that one a little bit more, or a lot more, so that I have other ways of feeling really great. Las Vegas has incredible malls with marble floors and Rolex and Ferrari stores and Porsche stores, and you know where the car stores are right in the mall, the little mini stores, and all sorts of opulence. So I can go down and look at Fondi. I can go down and Dolce & Gabbana, or any of the great designers. They've got a shop here. And it's going to be in a mall with a bunch of other shops like that. So if I want to, and that is one of the things I do, if I'm going to take my walk, then I'll just go walk that mall and enjoy. So I can easily spend more than $100 a day. I do know how. And I love the feeling. And I love the feeling of dressing beautifully, of walking and going out and getting into a beautiful car, and returning to my beautiful home from my beautiful outing, and my lunch at the lovely cafe. So I really, I so appreciate our time together. I always say that. Arnie, I loved what you were saying. While you were talking, I was kind of half listening, and then I was going, the pleasure of this, and I'm writing sentences, the pleasure of having retreat time, the pleasure of driving my ideal car, the pleasure of living in a gorgeous home. I'm in the middle of moving now. That's particularly interesting to me now. The pleasure of moving. I put the pleasure of moving, and the pleasure of being financially free, and the pleasure of good company, which I feel like I'm in right now. So I'll close with that. Thank you.
Oh, Candace, you are so beautiful and so empowering. I love what you said, about the $100 to really practice. So I took notes too. So thank you so much for that. And I was thinking, about all of us that we are with iGrowNet, or we are inside it, in our social commerce platform. That we can make these folders, with what you like or what you use, or you can define a folder, because you can go to the mall walking, but here in the jungle, let's say, like, okay, I'm creating my own mall with the e-commerce,
Absolutely.
And I'm going to create, and maybe I make a movement on our it, like to create a folder that can be called, my new life of abundance, and to bring there all the things that I imagine myself using for that, because the beauty, this is one of the things that I love about it, by the way. Like, I have the things that my son likes, a folder, with the t-shirts and things that I know he can like, and I have a folder with the things that Arne can like, and the things that I use, and the things that I want. And now I'm going to say, my list of financial freedom life, for example, and to don't look. It's like sometimes I look at, I don't know, something that I would like to buy. The other day I was looking for a vacuum cleaner, that I would like. And I always, have this tendency to go and look at the price, and then, oh, well, I'm going to go for the best, and I'm going to practice this to see for a while, and then I let you know more. But it is one of the beautiful gifts that I think we have on our social commerce, like we can really check all around and pick and have the pictures and to see that we can have what we want without limitation, So thank you so much, Candy. That was beautiful. Amobi, I can see you open. Go for it. Welcome, welcome. I cannot hear you, Amobi. We cannot hear you.
You're crackling some.
Let's see
Can you
now.
hear me? Can you
Now,
hear me
yes.
now?
Now, yes. Yes.
Yes, I up to about 2 days ago, I was on LinkedIn, and I have these particular cars that I appreciate, and I was on there, and one of the profiles on LinkedIn was this individual who he specializes in luxurious vehicles. So I went on his site and I said, you know what, you know, if you think about what you want, and it'll come easily. And I think this goes hand in hand with what we've been reading today. Um, Also, you know, I'm, I'm I know I'm very pig-headed when it comes to my ideas and my vision, and I tend to I was doing a presentation to someone on iGrow, and they were involved in other MLM companies, and I believe in iGrow so much, and you know they basically said, well, where are you getting this enthusiasm from? I'm trying to tell you that your whole system is not up to par. This is not what MLM does, and they were basically very impressed with my enthusiasm. And I always tell people, if you believe in something, if you believe in financial freedom, and if you think about it every single day, um, it'll come to you. I know in the readings today they were very specific, and these specific things I haven't tried, but I'm definitely going to try those things. I've always in the past asked individuals, if they would say, oh, the lottery is $200 million, I would always ask them, what would you do if you won that money? Because those kind of things are always on my mind, and I think it's helped me to stay focused. Um, Also helping individuals, helping family members. Um, all those things have helped me be focused. About 2 weeks ago, my mom asked me, you look like you financially you're not well right now. Do you need some help? And I told her, whatever help you want to do, give me the whatever help. But she was like, well, why did you leave your job? You know, that was the first thing that came out her mouth. It was kind of bait because she knew I'd made the decision to, stop looking for work and start working on my businesses. And I told her, and I was very stern about it. I love you dearly, but these are my dreams, and I honestly I am not going to put them aside for anyone. You know, and I'm gonna stick to that. And sometimes we meet individuals, loved ones who, they're in the frame of mind. You go to work, you go to college, you get your degree. You're just looking for that white picket fence, and everything is going to be wonderful. But some other people in life have dreams, and they have to stick to them. And I think this reading today really uh, shows that there's a lot of people out there with the same mindset, and if you meditate on what you want, uh, in whichever way, eventually it will come to you. And that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Amobi. I love it, and I just want to acknowledge you for, there is so many people today. I mean, that you are really beacon of light. When you shine your light to
Hmm.
help so many people. That they want to switch from being an employee to be an entrepreneur, and I think it's a huge jump. Because you play the pen and whatever, I don't know, but to see people like you, like really comes from a place that I was there, I even have one foot there, but I start to really feel that my consciousness is calling for more, you know, for that freedom, for that real manifestation. So I want to acknowledge you for that, because you can support so many people. I think that many people start to feel that call, and we are going to be more and more entrepreneurs working from home, easy life, you know, allowing money to flow in, having fun with what we do. That, you know, so thank you for being that example. I love it. And I can see
welcome.
Celio, I can see your microphone open. Welcome.
When Dr. Fran read, you know, in the last paragraph, I think, you know, we just have to get to the core, at least for me, when Abraham says the essential part is making sure we're not in the lack, in the feeling of lack, because we can theorize many million times, and in theory, everything is honky-dory and all that. But, you know, that crucial moment that you're dealing with your, you know, I'm right now talking about money, and you're dealing with your financial situation, and then just allowing that, you know, that the feeling of lack is not there. It's not easy. It's very deep. It takes to be in the present. You know, it takes such a presence of reality, but not material reality. And nothing. It's not a fight between spiritual and money. I think they go together perfectly well. But in that moment of truth, that when you see your bank account dwindling, and then allowing that feeling of not lacking, you know, it takes mastery. We can talk about it in many ways, but it really takes mastery, and it takes a lot of courage also. You know, it's like, how much effort can I do every day in my business life, in my office, in my deals, not to allow the feeling of lack in a very deep way. And by not allowing that feeling of lack, then of course, you know, the law of attraction, like Dr. Franz said, you know, is the law. It has to come, you know, and I'm getting a daily experience in that. You know, it's like my main goal right now, you know, is not to allow that feeling of lack. You know, it's not, because I already have many things in a way. You know, I'm not a multi-billionaire, but when he was reading, you know, these people who seem to be wealthy, and then, you know, they're not in that place of not allowing. You know, for me, it's like, you know, I have to be so honest with what I want, because I already have the farm, I have the ranch, I was born in a very wealthy family. I've had it all, but I had to go down. Like that's read in this chapter. I think maybe next day I had to get down all the way to bounce up again, you know, and that's taken all the courage and all the help from God, you know. And in that essence that we're reading today, that essence is not allowing the feeling of lack, because then you can say, okay, my present situation is so and so, but then it could be better, and then I am in lack. You know, and just remembering, oh, what was a year ago, what is now, thank, be grateful, and just focus in the positive, just focus in the opposite of lack. And I love, Candice, that as you live in Las Vegas, that's the epitome of so-called, you know, of money. You know, it's like the temple of Mammon, of money, you know, and it's great and it's fabulous, but at the same time, I think for us in this mastermind, it's so essential to be aware that that money is an energy, is something that is totally spiritual. And if we don't come to terms with that big capital R reality, you know, maybe we're gonna get the money and the business, but then we're gonna be again in the same place. And at least for me, I don't want that. You know, I want to be in that place of absence of lack, where I know the true wealth is, you know, and that's where I want to be. And it's taking all my effort, you know, and I'm so grateful, because in this mastermind, you know, we go to the core. It's like laser focus in the core. You know, Dr. Fran was reading today, and for me was like, exactly, that's the point. That's the essential core issue and point that we all have to work at this, at least for me. I definitely have to work on that. I think I'm improving, but there's a lot of work still to be done, but I'm grateful for the work that is done, and I'm grateful for the money that is there, and I'm grateful for the success, and not feeling for the success that is going to come, because that's the trap of the mind. That's it. And for you, Candace, it's so obvious there in Las Vegas is the trap, and you cannot fall in that trap, because if you fall in that trap, you're in the luck and you're lost. To me, that's the essence of this book. It's like so I hope I got it today, and I hope I can share this feeling, because I find it's extremely, extremely important for all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, Celio. So important. You're totally right. Like to distinguish and to be conscious enough that you detect that, because many of us, we work on our mental, attitude and blah, blah, but, unconsciously we don't detect that we are coming from that lack in quotes, so to really focus on abundance. I was reading this sentence, about, the power of telling the story of their finances as they want it to be, rather than as it is. It's like it's such a key. It's just like, okay, how can I feel that abundant inside, like you were saying right now, Celio, and I feel you so connected with source. How can I feel source in this body, in this moment, and to engage with my dreams from there, with whatever it is that I'm looking for from there. Oh my gosh, I just love you guys. Yes, Celio.
Yeah, no, it's a story of the boat of Arnie. It's the same. You just said it, Monica, how I want it to be. And how I want to be, for me, is in my office, in my business, reality of every day, but how I want it to feel. And now, in that moment, that's for me is the secret, and that's very powerful. Because if I get it how I want it to be, then I get it. And this, I get it.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Celio. Very beautiful today. We are so engaged here and excited and whatever. And I think we are arriving to our last minute of our mastermind that we have every Saturday. And Doc Fran, I can see that you opened the microphone. If you'd like to say something before we close, will be wonderful.
I know you'll find it completely surprising, but yeah, I do have a couple things I'd like to say. It's so unlike me, but I truly appreciated and got stimulated by everything that everybody was saying this morning. And Nancy handed me a little Abraham quote that she had right at her desk that she reads in her yoga, and it's spot on for today. And it says, everything that I think that I need to do is all only in order to propel me to some place that when I get there, I think I will be happier. So everything that I am doing, no matter what it is, all of my lists of rights and wrongs are all about me getting to a manifestation that I believe I will then be happier. So why don't I just take a shortcut and just go get happy? So, words of wisdom, easier said than done, of course. But if I've been pretty open about the fact that I started to really deliberately apply this thinking to my life about a year ago when I made the decision to retire. And it struck me that I have a blog that's titled Living an Abundance Lifestyle. And so all of us struggle, as Celio said, all of us intrinsically suffer or are troubled by the insidious perception of lack. And so I started to really think about that. And of course, when you think of lack, you're on the negative emotion, you're on the downside of the equation, and you're inhibiting your life experience. So what I've done, and money is one of the more highly charged subjects in our life, and the analytical, realistic, intellectual side of us all wants to tally and quantify and compare and all of that crap, that when you're doing that, a lot of times it always comes up short. Because when I first went into practice, a very wise seasoned practitioner, colleague of mine, said to me, you know, Fran, here's the interesting thing about income. It's never going to be enough, no matter what it is, because every person I know lives 110 to 120% of their income every year. So get used to it and just enjoy the process. And that was really wise counsel to me that it took me a long time to understand how wise it was. But the reality is, as Celia pointed out, the true joy is in the journey. And we've said that, especially as sailors, Arnie and I, you know, I mean, it's okay every once in a while to get into a powerboat and go someplace fast if you think it, you know, if you want to be there faster, because that's going to be more fun than the journey. But that's why I love sailing, because truly the joy is in the journey to where we're going to go. So what's my wise tip for the day? How do I get myself and keep myself out of a perception of lack in any area of my life? And it's simply embodied in the training that we've had to look for a better feeling thought. And so if I have a blog called Living an Abundance Lifestyle, you've heard me say innumerable times, focus on the abundance. Find something that you have abundance of. And when your mindset and when your focus and your thought processes are constantly on anything that you perceive yourself to have abundance with, you're going to go into joy. And so, you know, find something that you have abundance of. If you can't think of anything that's material, think about the fact that, you know, you just breathed 15 or 20 times in the last minute, and there was always oxygen there. There was always air there. So, all right, thank God, I've got an abundance of air. You know, if you don't think that's important, find yourself sealed up in a small crypt where there is a limited specific endpoint to the amount of oxygen you have to breathe, and you really will appreciate the abundance of atmosphere oxygen. So, you know, I started looking back, and I think if any of us, we've always had enough money, if not more money than we need. And I used to train all the time that everybody I know has money to burn. Everybody I know. And everyone on this call has money to burn right this minute. Well, how do I know that? Well, do you drive a car? Do you put gasoline in that car? You're burning money. Do you smoke cigarettes? You know, this is my classic thing, because, you know, unfortunately, the vast preponderance of people who walk around crying poor in their life are heavy smokers, and a lot of them are drug users. Well, God almighty, look at all the money that they're blowing on absolutely destructive habits. $5 a pack for cigarettes. It doesn't take a long time to burn through a lot of money. You know, so, you know, we all have abundance of all things. And the thing that's fun is I have so much abundance of time, since I don't have to ever work for money again in my own mind, that yesterday I spent the whole day building this model. And it's been sitting down in my shop for over 2 years. All I had was the hull started. And I finally said to myself, you know what? I'm really wasting my time doing all of this other stuff when really all I want to do is sit down and finish this model. So I think this is kind of neat. And today and over the weekend, I'm going to build a display case for it. So
beautiful.
You know, focus on what you have abundance of, and the joy and abundance in all areas will follow. Back to you guys.
Wow, Doc Fran, focus on what you have abundance of. I take it in my heart, in my head, in my body, everywhere. Focus on what you have abundance of. And I have abundance of beauty. I mean, I'm in the middle of the nature here, abundance of love, no doubt. So to make the list of that, thank you so much, Doc Fran. It's so beautiful to so beautiful to be empowered here by each other in our own lives. It's like we honor our human journey, you know, so we are not doing anything wrong. The opposite, we are so committed to open up and to manifest, you know, the real, the true nature that we are made of, you know. So thank you so much, guys, for all of this. And with this, I want to say goodbye for today. We are going to get together next Saturday. It's going to be October 10 already. And I know Candace won't, so I'm going to say the page that we are going to continue is going to be page 63, you know, for the ones that you are reading at home, the book that we are studying right now. So we will begin the session on page 63. And I just wish you a wonderful week where we can practice, play. I'm going to create this folder, and I'm going to ask you guys, the ones that you are in it already, to unite forces here, you know, and to really see how much we can support each other to live this abundance or my financial freedom lifestyle, I'm calling it. So let's see how we can do that. Enjoy, and I see you next week, I hope. And the ones that you are on the other side, or just, you know, seeing the recording here, remember that you can always email Arne, ARNE at unlimitednetwork.com, unlimitednetwork.com, to get the special link so you can be here with us and have fun and share and give us your gifts and wisdom and to grow all together, because the more we grow here individually, the more we are supporting the entire planet to elevate our prosperity consciousness. So we are doing this for everyone, for the good of everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and see you next Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.